Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Dark Park Film Reviews. And today I am here once again. I guess you would be my official co-host for Pirates. And this is OGP.
Yes, I am here. Giving you a little awkward pause right there.
I'm like, oh crap, did he freeze? And we're only like 2 seconds into it.
Yeah. This yes, we are on this journey together. We have sailed these seas together, and this was the fifth adventure. And I'm glad we did this. I'm glad this was a franchise that I finally broke down and decided that I needed to watch. And it's been fun talking about them, and this should be a good time as well.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm gonna be upfront with this, and so that maybe you could give me your opinion too. I like this one the least.
You want my quick reaction to that?
Sure.
I love Javier Bard. I love Javier Bardem.
Love.
I
Love him.
I love what they did with Barbosa's character and giving him depth, giving his character a little more history. I love that Stephen Graham came back. The cast, I very much enjoyed. We did kind of go back into the Will and Liz story, which I had enough of after the trilogy, but they were kind of periphery characters, so they weren't. That's the story wasn't all about them, so I was fine with that.
It wraps it all up. So, if they never made another one again.
Yeah. This one was a little wonky at the end, with like the parting of the seas kind of stuff was kind of goofy, but all in all, I kind of liked it. I don't know if this will be my least favorite of the franchise. I don't know.
Now, when I say least favorite, that doesn't mean I don't like it. I could watch this
Yeah.
anytime. It's just if somebody said, let's watch a Pirates movie, this would not be my first one to pick. And what we are referring to here is, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. So,
Yeah.
which is the last one in the franchise. So I do like it. I'm not a fan really of the directing. It's a little more chaotic. I've noticed that there was some weird shots where it would be like medium. Well, yeah, I guess it would be like medium, and then medium, and then there would be some weird shift, and then it would go wide. And it was just like, oh, that seems a little kind of awkward. It's maybe it should have cut to something else before it went to the wide. But Rob Marshall did the last one, and he's a good director. He's done a fair amount of musicals like Chicago and stuff, so he's used to this type of thing. And then of course we had the same director on 1, 2, and 3. On 5, it's two guys I haven't heard of. I did not look them up to see what else they directed, but it just kind of, I don't know. I wasn't as big a fan as the directing. Maybe that was it.
Oh. Well, for me, I didn't notice. Honestly, between all 5, they dump so much money into these for the production that I didn't really notice in any one of them that bad editing or bad cinematography or anything like that. And how much of this, and I don't know. I'd be guessing if I said 3/4 of it, if not more, was all shot in front of a green screen, probably more. But I thought it looked fine. It sounded fine. The effects were fine. I didn't production value wise, I don't really have any complaints. For me, it was just kind of a bit wonky on the story. I did like how we had a new character. So Javier Bardem's ship and Captain Salazar. We got the backstory. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. We learned who Captain Salazar was. We learned how they died and why their ship was stuck where it was. And then we also got a backstory of how Jack Sparrow became a captain. So
with really bad de-aging.
the de-aging was not great. And I mean, 2026 AI de-aging should be getting better. But I mean, you know, de-aging has never been great.
Well, this was, 2017. So is that acceptable?
I mean, it still didn't look great. It looked AI, or it looked, CG, I guess, CG. But the difference from 2017 to 2026 in the ability to de-age or whatever with the use of AI, I think is light years beyond what it was 9 years ago. So, if this movie was made now, it would probably look better. But I mean, your choice is, do you de-age Johnny Depp, or do you go get another character to play him, another actor, I should say? I don't know if you're going to get the right type of mannerisms and body language and all that from a different actor. So, they made a choice. It was get a different actor, or it was de-age him, and they went with de-aging. And yeah, it didn't look great, but it is, something that I can forgive, but it was noticeable. But the story of, how he became a captain and all that, I thought was a lot of fun. It was a very interesting story. So I'm glad we got that part.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't just get their skin is all smooth when they do the de-aging. I don't know why they just can't add a little roughness, a wrinkle here or there. It's all just flat. There's no curves, there's no definition, there's no, they look like mannequins. They don't.
Well, yeah, and I mean, so you figure when they were editing this, if it came out 2017, they were in May 26, especially, they were putting all this together in 2025. Or I'm sorry, if it came out May 26 of 19, Jesus Christ, if it came out May 26 of 2017, they were doing this work in 2016 or 2015. And yeah, it doesn't look great. But I mean, what would you rather? Would you rather they had a different actor play the younger?
Maybe. I mean, it's just, I mean, in comparison, I mean, it just,
To me, it doesn't bother me. We had in this franchise, we had a dude who had a shark head. So I can forgive some things because there were other things in this franchise that look like crap. So some of the sea creature head people were terrible. So I
mean, even here they de-aged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't think Javier Bardem looked too bad, but they all look a little cartoonish, right? They look no worse than what's it, episode 3 of Star Wars, whatever that's called. Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith.
Right. What in particular?
The whole movie looked like a cartoon. It was terrible.
Oh, I think Revenge of the Sith is one of the best ones. Okay.
But it looks like a cartoon. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, it's all shot on green screen, sure. Yeah. I mean, for the most part.
Anyways, I don't know. This stuff, I noticed it, but it was like, okay, it is what it is. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It's a goofy adventure. So I didn't dwell on it, but it is definitely noticeable.
Yeah, it just kind of, Yeah, I just don't. I get maybe because it was back then that maybe, you know, that it still looks a little wonky, but these days, especially with those, now somebody did a Schwarzenegger Terminator fighting a Predator. And they basically just took the scene of the two Terminators fighting from T2 and they dropped in a Predator and they put it into like a hotel room. So they're fighting throughout the hotel and the hallways and all that. And it looks almost perfect. So there would be no excuses anymore for this type of thing. If they could do that with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and now do it with a Terminator and Predator, it should not look any more like this at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So we have kind of our little routine going through all of these. So, what did you think about Johnny Depp in this? Was he still Jack Sparrow? Was he better? Was he worse? What did you think?
Well, I mean, Johnny Depp was fine. You know, he's fine in all the movies. I think with this one, where maybe you didn't like certain aspects of the directing, I don't know if this was the writing. I don't know if this was a director or whatever, but the jokes were a little more risque in this movie than they were in any other movie. You know, like sexual innuendo jokes and stuff, which we didn't get much of in the first four, where I thought they were kind of pushing the Disney limits with some of the joking. So I liked it, you know, and I thought it made Johnny Depp's character that much more interesting or convincing as a pirate to me. So, you know, I liked it. I mean, the opening scene is so goofy with them trying to steal a safe from a bank. And as they're going along, all the money's falling out. So they wind up just basically with a broken bank building and a gigantic safe with one coin in it. And it's so far-fetched and so over the top, but that's what these movies are. So that's okay. I thought Johnny Depp
building was a little much for me. I mean, how perfectly it went down the road on, you know, basically, and just
we had a ship underwater come up out of the water.
Well, but that can't be the excuse for everything.
We cut the sea in half.
You still have to have. I still have to believe that. And my reason
if you
for
believe
thinking,
anything from these movies, sir, what the fuck? There's nothing that's a fantasy movie. You can't worry about having to believe anything in these.
Everything you should be able to there is the you have to believe even if it's crazy. You have to believe.
Yeah.
At least I think you have to believe in the world that is there. And the building of, I'm going to look something up here. I'm going to see. Okay, so this was what I say, 2016, 17. Okay,
yeah.
So let me see here. Fast and the Furious.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You want to talk about unbelievable?
Bank job. Let me see here.
While you look, I'm gonna have a jelly bean. It's Easter time.
Okay, so 2011 in Fast 5 is where they steal a safe and it gets pulled across streets and everything like that. So I think the reason why they pulled the bank with the safe inside it was not to duplicate Fast 5, because that's like the most famous scene, and it's all done practical. The safe is actually being hit back and forth on the street. You know, it's like a styrofoam safe, but it's still practical. The building on this one,
but that type of stuff has been done before. I can't quote movies, but that type of stuff has been done before. Cars dragging safes or ATMs or things that people have stolen.
Well,
so I don't know that they were worried. I really don't think they're worried about Fast and the Furious.
Well, a lot of these movies duplicated each other. I mean, you say that, I think, because you don't like Fast and the Furious, but it's Fast and Furious duplicated Mission Impossible duplicated Fast and Furious, which then Fast and Furious
duplicated or copied or was inspired, or maybe here's the thing. We know in film, when something is hot, they make a bunch of it. You know, when we get a nice Star Wars movie, then we get other science fiction movies. You know, when the Star Wars films are coming out, we got the new Star Trek films. You know, we haven't gotten any of that stuff in a while. Um, so, I mean, things that are hot, yeah, they want to go kind of use some of the things that are done. But I don't know, irregardless of the fact of why
Irregardless.
or how it was done, that wasn't the point at all, whether it was believable or not. Well, we were talking about Johnny Depp and the character of Jack Sparrow. I just thought his Jack Sparrow's response to, you know, from being, you know, in the safe to on top of the building and riding down the street and then seeing a bridge and kind of going, oh shit. You know, it was very funny, and it was very on par with the goofy craziness that would be Jack Sparrow. So I thought Jack was fine. Johnny Depp was still great. After seeing 5 of these, if Johnny Depp was going to be in another one, you bet I would watch it.
Did you like him drunk at the beginning? He's introduced drunk, and basically drunk through that whole beginning. I think so did you like him being introduced drunk, or
His character is drunk as often as the character can get drunk until he's without rum. So he's drunk quite a bit in all these movies.
but
So
this is very obvious. What it reminded me of is Smokey and the Bandit Part 2. We're introduced to Smokey as I'm sorry, the bandit, Burt Reynolds, drunk. And to me, that really bummed me out in the movie, because as a
well,
kid, when I saw it,
you're talking about 2 guys that would be drunk. So I don't have a problem with either of them being drunk.
I have a problem more with the bandit, but because he wasted all of his money on alcohol, and it was, I think it was like piss beer. And
But that's why he has to do those types of jobs. He has to go do this drive to Texarkana to bring back the beer, because he is like he's just like Jack Sparrow, where he gets, you know, something great will happen. He'll have the world at his feet, and he'll get drunk and he'll piss it all away. That's Johnny Depp, you know, well, I guess you know, the bandit was a modern day Johnny Depp. You know, they were pirating beer. I mean, essentially, you know, he's, you know, the same type of character. So, but no, for me, he is a pirate. Even in Disney and the rides, they're all sitting there drinking rum. That's what pirates do. Pirates are drunk. So I thought it was great. You know, and he
okay,
had to sit there and wait in that safe until they opened it, however long he was there with the rum. So you figured he would be drunk. But
I guess
I don't know.
I guess you gotta have that belief that he just didn't suffocate inside there too. So
Again, these are fantasy movies, and there are no rules as far as, yeah, we need air to breathe. You know, we don't, you know, just you know, the obvious ones. Ships can't be underwater and then just pop back up. People don't grow shark, you know, heads, and you know, these things. So it's a fantasy fairy tale movie. So these things, I think, for me, and watching it, you have to just, all this stuff it's make believe. None of it is supposed to be real at all. So I'm not going to hold anything to the rules of reality.
which is fine, and I tend to go with a little more reality, even if it is fantasy. So but I just looked up. There's 2 directors on this film. One
Yeah.
of them, and I said, "Nah, I don't really know anything." The other guy, okay, I've changed my opinion on one of the guys, because he directed one of my favorite films of last year, probably my second favorite movie, which is Tron Ares.
Hmm.
So I take back at least my criticism of the directing from one of the directors. So because I really enjoyed Tron Ares.
But that's a little hypocritical, sir, because if you had a problem with the directing, just because you
No.
find out one guy is involved,
No.
your credibility just went
No.
out the window, sir. You
Nope.
have
Nope.
zero.
Nope.
I am influenced because I like this guy.
Nope. Nope. That's
All
right.
All right,
That's right.
Roddy. All right, Roddy Tomato.
That's right. Oh, how dare you? Oh,
How dare.
how dare you? So what did we think of I really need to number these things in the future. Here we go. What'd you think of Jeffrey Rush?
He is good. You know, and one thing that we have not done with these reviews is talked about the plot, or, you know, the movie itself. Really, before going in, we kind of talk about the movie as we go through the characters.
Right. We normally will say like what they're searching for, and that's about it. So
yeah. But this, yeah, it's, you know, the basic description really quickly says, you know, Jack Sparrow's searching for the trident of Poseidon to rule the sea while being pursued by old rival Captain Salazar and a crew of deadly ghosts who have escaped from the Devil's Triangle. So that's really the film. And again,
they're searching for this.
Yes. And again, we get dang it, Barbossa kind of after the same thing, you know, or having ulterior motives. And I like that. I mean, he's really, out of all 5 movies, he's been a pretty significant part of 4 of them. And I like that Sparrow has had that rivalry, that when it comes to pirate stuff, they will stab each other in the back in a minute. But when it comes to like the law or everything like that, I don't think they would turn each other in so much. But Barbossa, this character, it was really good. I thought what they did, if this is the last Pirates movie, which I'm sure this is the last one with, you know, Jeffrey Rush as Barbossa. He's old as dirt now. I mean, you figure this one was basically shot 10 years ago. Jeffrey Rush is now 75 years old. Maybe he could pull off Barbossa, but he's not going to be sword fighting or anything major in another movie if they were to do one. But I thought he was great in this one, and I loved what they did with this character, introducing the fact that he had a daughter. I did think it was a little weird that the daughter's talking about, my father gave me this book, and that didn't click for him until he saw the little red stone, the red, you know, the pearl or whatever that thing was. And it wasn't a pearl, whatever that was, that red stone that was on the book that she had. That's what made him realize that she was his daughter. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If you were the dad and you left the book with her, you should remember that. That'd be a pretty significant thing. So I thought that was a little goofy, but I did love the fact that we gave Barbossa a little more as far as depth to his character, because we've just known him as this swashbuckling pirate who's been after treasure throughout the films. But now this really hasn't changed who he is. It just added to who he is. Because it's still, I mean, the fact that he had a daughter, but he left, you know, because he's a pirate, rather than changing his life to be there for his daughter, just shows how much of a pirate he really is. You know, and then of course there, you know, you see the monkey in the picture there. So we got the monkey back too. But I really liked it. I enjoyed his character, how he is, again, a 2-timer, you know, working with Salazar, you know, to go get the trident, you know, and to, you know, save his own ass, but to kind of get what he needs to. But he's, you know, he's a pirate, so he's willing to flip and backstab and whatever. And it doesn't miss a beat as Salazar is sitting there killing his crew, when he's like, when, you know, when I tap this cane, every time I tap it, one of your crew members dies. And, you know, he's sitting there tapping it, and Barbossa's like, whatever. So he still was a very evil, dirty, mean pirate, but when it came to his daughter, you saw the emotion come out, and I think he did a great job showing the emotion and caring about the daughter, and then doing the right thing, sacrificing himself for his daughter. Because if there's one person, maybe you're not going to sacrifice yourself for the love of your life. Maybe you're not going to sacrifice yourself, for certain family members, but a child, you bet your ass you're going to sacrifice yourself for a child. And so for him at the end there to give his own life to save her was pretty damn cool. It was a perfect way to wrap up that character, I thought.
I think this is one of those cases of, because this is the 5th movie and they want to bring in a daughter, he of course never mentions a daughter in the past. Nothing.
Yeah.
So does that bother you at all? That, I mean,
not him, because he's not the lead. If we didn't know, if you introduced that Jack Sparrow had a daughter in this movie, I would have went, I'm calling bullshit. But the fact that Barbosa, there was so much about him we didn't know. He would just show up and do his thing. And I know it's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not the Captain Jack Sparrow story, but it's okay that we didn't know Barbosa had a daughter. That's fine. Basically, the fact is he was kind of surprised that she showed up. So, that's okay. But if it was Jack Sparrow, it would not have worked.
Well, Jack has had sex apparently with a lot of women, so maybe he has like 2 or 3 daughters out there that he doesn't even know
If it
about.
was a daughter he didn't know about, that would be fine. But if it was a daughter he knew about, we should have known by the 5th movie. But I do one thing, especially with her character. When
did you want to talk about her now?
I mean, it's kind of hard to address
Okay.
Barbosa without talking about her right now.
Okay, there we go.
So Karina Smith, who turns into Karina Barbosa at the end, she's changes her name, says it's Barbosa. One, I thought she's a great actress. She's very easy on the eyes, did a good job, and the idea that now Barbosa, even though he sacrificed himself, if they moved forward with the franchise, I would like to see her back. She can carry that Barbosa torch, and I'd be just fine with that because of the way they did it. It was not, we didn't sit on the back of an ambulance and go, you're going to be fine. It's okay. It's your movie now. You go on with it, Melissa and Jenna, while we're going to retire because we're old hags. They didn't in your face pass the torch, but they obviously passed the torch here. But the way they did it was just fine.
So she is with, okay, so I was going to bring up somebody different, but so what about then this guy?
So, and that was Henry Turner. So that's Will and Elizabeth's
son,
kid.
Yeah.
And
would you like to see him back with her or just her?
I thought he was fine, but his character was basically Will from the first couple movies. And okay, he's Will's kid or whatever, but the writing of his, he's got to save his dad. What does Will want to do? He wants to save his dad, and he hooks up with the broad along the way. So, he's basically his dad. I think, let's just play hypothetical that I'm going to write part 6 and I'm going to direct, I'm going to make the next one. I don't know if I want him back. I want Karina Barbosa back. I don't know if I want him back because her character is so much more interesting without him. Because if they're both in the film, it's going to be, he has to save her or she has to save him. That's what it's going to be. They're not just going to be riding, side by side, captaining a ship, on this adventure. One of them's going to have to be saving each other. That's just the way these movies work. And I don't know that I want that. I kind of would almost rather, her without him doing whatever.
Do you feel that she's a Mary Sue? Because she did know a lot, and she didn't have a problem taking on the men. She didn't have was her character a little woke?
I wasn't bothered by anything in this movie. There was nothing in this movie that made me go, oh, this is woke or this or that or whatever. I had no problem with her character at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to grab a picture from the one with the mermaid, but they always seem to do. So do you feel, I just think that these are just kind of insert Will and Elizabeth character here.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying. He was basically Will, and her story is a little bit different than Elizabeth because she's, not like a princess or royalty or whatever Elizabeth was, but they're both through the events that are happening throughout the film. They're both being pushed into really becoming pirates or becoming outlaws in the eyes of the monarchy. And so there are a lot of similarities, and that is kind of what I got. I think here's the thing. This is a Disney movie. Disney movies have to have love stories. You can't just have a Jack Sparrow pirate movie where he's out kicking ass and taking names without a love story in there. And that's why I think they said, we need this. We had a mermaid fall in love with another dude. We had Will fall in love with Liz, and we have, these two now. So you have to have that love interest. And Jack Sparrow, I'm glad they didn't do it to Jack Sparrow. It would be funny to see like a whipped Jack Sparrow, like kind of like he was a little bit with Penelope, but leaving her on the island was the perfect, I mean, not necessarily perfect ending, but it was him leaving her behind, screwing her over, was what Jack Sparrow's character would do. So I'm glad they didn't make Jack Sparrow go, you know what, I'm going to hang up my captain's hat and I'm going to go live a wholesome life with a woman here, because that's not what we want from Jack Sparrow. So knowing that Disney wants a love story, you're going to get it one way or another. So this wasn't bad, but it did feel a lot like Will and Liz. So, was it episode 7, where everybody was like
priest guy and mermaid.
Yeah, well, no, that's what, that's what I was saying. Yeah, the mermaid one, they had the love story too.
Yeah, so they all seem to be younger people that have that are attracted to each other, and they just kind of have to fulfill the spot of Elizabeth and Will. I mean, you had asked in one of the other movies when Will took over the ship, and he's like, "Oh, why doesn't he have barnacles all over him?" So it was nice to see that he's got barnacles. So I guess being on that ship long enough,
Yes. And the barnacles were fine. I thought the way Will looked was fine. If he had, if he'd turned into a jellyfish, or if he had shark fins, or something, I would have thought that was weird. But barnacles are things that attach to other sea creatures underwater. So that's just fine. I liked the way he looked. So, and it was kind of nice at the end that, okay, now Will and Liz are back together. They can ride off into the sunset, and Jack Sparrow can move on with his life. But this one movie at the beginning, everybody, oh, Jack Sparrow's dead. Everybody's saying, oh, Jack Sparrow's dead. Jack Sparrow's dead. I would I would like more of the movie to be about Jack Sparrow and why people think he's dead or what happened to him and stuff. I want more Jack Sparrow adventure, but I don't, you know, it's Disney, so we understand you're going to get a love story with it. So it is what it is, you know, and you're picking a story that, you know, involves all these characters and, you know, has the arc and all that stuff, where some of the things that I would like to know or see about Jack Sparrow that would precede these, you know, in chronological order, um, I think it would be just more as a fan of the franchise, just more gratifying to me of, okay, well, let me see how, you know, whatever happened to Johnny Depp to make everybody think that he was dead or this or that. It wouldn't really help or add to this story per se. So if Disney's going to go, you know what? Nope, you're going to make a Pirates movie. We have to have a love story. If that's what's going to happen, then so be it. You do the best you can with Jack Sparrow around the love story.
Okay. Okay. And you with Will here, you're thinking that's fine with the barnacles and stuff on him, but his dad then would be just too much.
Yeah.
Barnacles creep me out. There's not a lot of things that creep me out. That creeps me out. But
Yeah,
like I
well,
would
because
just
like is this because the starfish is like growing out of him. If the starfish was just kind of attached to him, it'd be one thing. But see, the starfish is actually growing out of him. So I don't know. But his character was not the worst by any means. But I think with these things, sometimes less is more. You know, and he's been underwater a lot longer. Um, you know, than Will was. So I don't know.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So then so we were going to discuss him, but then we started, you know, Javier. So what about him? Do you
Oh yeah.
like, I mean, it seems like each villain is original. Nobody seems to be copying each other.
Yeah.
I liked him that he was a ghost. I thought that was kind of cool with how he kind of flowed like in slow
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
Did I mean what is your take on him?
Well, Javier Bardem is a great actor. I love everything I've seen him in. I have no complaints about. I mean, we could probably go down his, you know, bio and pick a movie that I don't care for, but everything that I have seen him in, I've enjoyed. You know, and even if it's not my favorite, you know, he's just always been a great actor. So when I saw him pop up in this movie, I was like, oh goody. I am happy that they got him involved. But his look too also kind of fits the bill of a pirate. You know, these pirate guys that they pick, like Jeffrey Rush and what's his name? I forget the guy that played Blackbeard right now, but they all look like they could
Oh
be
yeah.
pirates.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's they definitely do not have a problem, you know, with that. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And I do like that he wasn't a pirate. He was a Spaniard hell bent on killing all pirates. And so,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
you know, he is evil and scary, but only because they're pirates. And he wants revenge on Jack Sparrow. So that's it's a unique take. Barbosa, Blackbeard, um, they've been pirates coming out, and what was the other one with the weird octopus beard thing?
Oh, Davy Jones.
Davy Jones, thank you. They were all pirates, and so for this guy to be as evil and murderous, as willing to kill somebody as quickly as he does, and not being a pirate, is very interesting. So I thought they did. He was a unique character. It was a unique situation, and I thought they did a good job with it.
Okay. Did you like he couldn't go on to shore? He had to stay out in the water and all of that type of thing. Like it's I like that these things are original. They don't really seem to, I mean, Barbosa and stuff, they couldn't go out into the sunlight. He can't go onto shore. There's a little bit of,
Well, that
but
they have their rules.
yeah. So it seems to,
Like the
work.
rules of the curse that they have.
Yeah.
But an interesting thing is at the end of part 4, we undid all the curses that were ever done, right? Or was that at the end of this one?
No, the end of this one. Yeah, I think it's this one where they
is breaking that thing.
Yeah, because Will becomes normal.
Yeah. That's right. So, but yeah, I confused myself there where I was going with that. But them running on the beach, I thought was very cool. Like the one guy just poof turns into dust. I thought was good, and it allowed for them to bring the ship back, break open the bottle, get the ship back, and take off from the other side of the island to get a head start against Salazar's men, because they were on the other side, like waiting for him. So that was kind of cool, because I'm like sitting there going, how is Jack Sparrow going to survive this? And he's going to survive when he's out in the little dinghy boat, and then ends up hooking the boat onto the shark, and so the shark's pulling it to get him speed to get up on land. I thought that was fun. That was one of those Jack Sparrow adventures that's so unrealistic that like in the other movie when the ships are in that giant tide, whatever that's called, where the water's going down and the ships are going around in circles
like
in it,
like a drain, like a sea drain or something.
So him when he was on the rope swinging around and everything, like, oh, this is so far-fetched, so ridiculous, but it's just fun. This one here, like Jack Sparrow being pulled by the sharks from Salazar's ship, was fun. And the fact that Salazar would have the sharks that were ready to go. And what did these poor sharks do to get turned into ghosts on Salazar's ship? But for whatever reason, they were there.
I absolutely loved these sharks.
Yeah.
Absolutely
sharks
loved
great.
them.
They were great.
These ghost sharks were just amazing. I love them. Some people call them, when I looked them up, some people call them zombie sharks, but I think that they are more
they're ghost sharks. They're the same as Captain Salazar. Yeah, Salazar was like a ghost. He wasn't a zombie. So the sharks were the same.
Yeah. And they looked, I thought that for CGI, I thought that they looked really good. So because we and this is a kind of like a close-up of one. I mean, I think that looks awesome.
Yeah.
And then I also found a kind of like this is like production art for the sharks. I mean, that is really cool looking.
Oh, those are cool. Yeah. I wonder if that's was that just completely created as art afterwards, or was that like, what the artist drew to say, hey, director, is this what you want? And then director said, oh yeah, that's it. Because sometimes they create things ahead of time. You have the design, what the thing's going to look like. And then other times artwork is just created based on what it looked like in the film. So I don't know, but either way, that is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, because it says like Great White #2. Yeah, so I know, I almost didn't think maybe it was like production art to get the okay, but yeah, either way, this is very cool looking. And we just didn't have sharks. We also had a ghost bird, like a seagull.
So weird. Yeah.
So yeah, we had many cool things in this, and but there is one person that finally showed up, and it's just like, okay, I wish this scene was longer, but that would be Mr. Paul McCartney, or Sir Paul McCartney. Yeah. So I did like that Jack thought maybe it was his dad, and then it's Uncle Jack. So, what did you think of McCartney's little cameo there?
I thought it was great. And his character, so if he is Uncle Jack, and so one of two things could have happened. He could have been his he could have been like his dad's brother, or he could have been his mom's brother. But the way they portrayed him, you're thinking that's his dad's brother. So now the fact that Paul McCartney and what's the dude from the Rolling Stones, Keith Richards,
yeah,
that they're supposed to be brothers. They look like they could be brothers in these movies. And so I think the look was great, and him kind of being a little different personality wise than Keith Richards' character, I thought was cool. Him, but essentially the same thing, like warning him, like kind of helping him, get where he's going. I can't remember exactly what Paul McCartney's character was telling him, but he was helping him, giving him advice.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. And the minute you saw him, if you know who Paul McCartney is, you're like, ooh. Which takes me to, I saw an interview. Some guy who I have no idea who he was interviewing Tom Hanks. And he asked Tom Hanks, if you could have one last conversation or meal or whatever, a last meal with anybody you want of your choice, who would you pick? And Tom Hanks says, Julian Lennon, or John Lennon. I'm sorry, John Lennon. And the guy goes, I don't know who that is. And Tom Hanks looks at him like, are you kidding me? The guy's younger. And then he goes, oh, the Russian leader. And Tom Hanks is like, he's basically like, oh my God. So, but no matter how famous you are, 2, 3, 4 generations from now, they are not going to know who you are. So I just thought that was funny. But
that is awful.
So younger kids
and
probably
sad.
have no idea who Paul McCartney is. They're just like, oh, that's his brother. But for those of us that are like, probably at least 30 years old or more, are going like, ooh, we're kind of geeking out. That's fucking Sir Paul McCartney.
Yeah, that is scary to me, that somebody would not know who Paul McCartney is, or John Lennon, and that just doesn't, because the Beatles are still very relevant. So I mean,
yeah, but kids, man, you know how it is. I'm telling you, so my daughter had a gigantic Beatles. In fact, I had the Abbey Road poster in here, and my daughter jacked it from me and put it in her room. She has a record player with vinyl. She has Beatles records. She listens to them. But if I asked her who George Harrison was, I am sure she would have no clue. If I asked her who John Lennon was, she would probably have no clue. So that's the way time works, man. It does not matter how famous you. I bet there are a lot of people that go to Disneyland who would shit themselves if you explained to them who Walt Disney was. So it's the way time works. But it was a very pleasant treat for me to get to see Paul McCartney show up in this franchise. I love, especially because the history of Jack Sparrow and Johnny Depp being, Keith Richards essentially, and then them being funny enough to bring Keith Richards into the franchise. Well, the connection kind of between the Beatles and the Stones, and the age-old argument of which is a better band, and all that stuff. I just loved it. I loved it that it's been a friendly rivalry essentially with the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, for 60 years. So I don't know the whole history if their rivalry was always friendly or not, but I think it was. But to have them both in this franchise now, I thought was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, if they did a another one, if they wanted to continue with that, they could, you know, especially if they want to keep the Brits in there, they could do like Roger Daltrey or something.
I knew you were going to go to the Who.
Or okay, if you want to go American, Mickey Dolenz. So, you know, you could do something like that. So, well, because I went to the Who, because when you look at it, it's like the Beatles were the best. There's been the argument of are the Stones the best or the Beatles, but it would go Beatles, Stones, Who, you know, and then it just kind of goes down the list, you know.
You know, and I'm drawing a blank right now because I suck with names. There's one gentleman who would look the part and would be a great looking pirate, who they should. I will argue that this, if you want to argue Beatles and Stones, maybe this is like second tier next to them, but I don't know. Kind of on the same level as the Beatles and Stones to me. And that is Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. He looks like a pirate. He would work.
He's British, so that would work. Yeah, sure. You know, yeah, he would.
Robert Plant. Jimmy Page now looks like an old Chinese lady, so he wouldn't work. But Robert Plant, it's weird. Jimmy Page, the way he's aged, man, he's turned Asian. But Robert Plant looks
surgery.
I don't know. I just think it's just the way. Maybe he's had plastic surgery, but I just think it's just the way he looks. But that would be a good one.
Yeah, and it's always nice when they bring back Gibbs. So he came back, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he was not left out. So
yeah, and Captain Jack Sparrow having his faithful, you know, as far as pirates go, his faithful sidekick, who they've had their differences at times, but they always, you know, wind up having each other's back. And so, yeah, having him there was great.
And not, you know, we should not forget. Let's see. I'm so bad at this. I thought this was. I don't know if this would be racist or not, but
hear the crinkle. Hear the crinkle of the bag from my jelly beans.
Aren't you the one who says that you should never eat during these things?
I am doing something while
on
you're
Sunday,
doing
I will
research.
be eating a big sandwich.
I'm doing fuck your mother. I will turn you off.
Well, how dare you? I am so bad. I thought this was Wee Man.
But that dude, wasn't he in Rob Zombie movie or something? What else was he?
Well, that's
in?
like it's Martin K-Bib? Klebib? I don't know how you say his last name. Klebba.
Martin Klebba.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'm a horrible person for thinking that all little people are the same person. So I don't know.
You're racist.
Well, and then when I looked up the movies that he did, I'm just like, oh fuck, really? But then I remembered, he is in this movie, isn't he? And so here he is, very proud to be in one of the biggest box office bombs in history.
That's racist.
So there we go.
Yeah. He's been in looks like almost all, if not all, of the Pirates movies.
Sometimes he has a bigger role, sometimes it's not. So
yeah. What was I thought he was in?
If this is going to be the last Pirates movie, it's like, you know, we gotta bring back as many people as possible. You know, the ones that are alive.
Sure.
But
yeah. Oh, I guess he wasn't in any of the Rob Zombie movies. Must have been somebody else.
See, you're just as bad as me.
Yeah.
And then we do have, you know, Jack and all of his guys. We also, of course, somebody that you mentioned last time, but I I think you had to quickly find a picture of him. Is this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, I very
he's
much enjoy him. Yeah. Stephen Graham. He's a great actor. Get Santa. If you have not seen Get Santa, I highly recommend it. But he's great in Boardwalk Empire, playing Al Capone, and just so many things. He's a great actor, and so having him in this is perfect. He did a great job as a pirate. So he is an actor that I enjoy watching.
So now let me ask you, did you enjoy Johnny Depp in blackface?
That wasn't blackface. That was mudface, sir.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. Was it
How did he get the blackface, sir?
he fell into mud, but he could have
Well,
wiped it
thank you.
off,
So
but he
it's
didn't.
mudface.
I don't know about that.
But his hands were covered in mud too. How well would that have worked?
Well, his hands aren't white anymore. But you know what Johnny Depp? You know what Johnny Depp and Captain Jack Sparrow both have?
What's that?
A jar of cocaine.
A jar of cocaine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I mean, you know, and sometimes you never know. Cocaine may make you just go full blackface. You never know.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny drug. You know, these things do happen. So it's, you know, you just never know when you're gonna, you know, pop up. Something with Depp.
It's a bright smile that he has on his face with that jar.
That is true. I did enjoy this because it did remind me of the other movies. Was him in the guillotine, and it's just flipping all around, and the blade goes up, and it almost hits him. Then it goes up.
Funny
again.
was that shit. And then after it finally breaks, and he's standing there, but he's still attached to the board, and then the board gets broken off. That was a very funny scene. I'm like, well, how are they going to get out of this? And him having the argument with the girl who's about to get hung, and then like that was a very funny scene.
Yeah, I thought that was very much like the other pirate movies. So it's they definitely tried to find something that you know, would work as the, you know, with the other four movies. And I think this is definitely the equivalent of what they've done before with like the big spinning, you know, wheels that they're on and all of that. So
yeah.
And
then the funny part too is that he didn't know what a guillotine was, so that's why he picked it to get killed by.
Yeah, it sounds French. You know,
yeah.
they invented mayonnaise.
And then he sees it, and he's like, "Oh shit! Oh yeah, the mayonnaise line was hysterical." Yeah,
just for no reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And then of course I mean since I'm just showing random pictures, let's just show some cleavage right here. Why not? We'll get her in there too. You know,
she reminded me a lot of a girl now whose name I will not remember. But from The Substance, what's her name?
Oh, the younger version of
Margaret Qualley. No, yeah, well, yeah, the younger Margaret, but Margaret, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, but you were saying, yeah, the younger version of Demi Moore, but yeah, she doesn't look like Demi Moore, but she looks a lot like Margaret Qualley.
Yeah.
So,
and I thought that she worked well with Depp. I thought that they did a good job together.
Oh yeah. See, but in that picture, she looks like if Samara Weaving was a brunette from that angle, but the other angle, she looked like Margaret Qualley.
Okay, interesting. I could see that. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got this one because I was going to show it with Will's son. So, but I'm going to show it right now because I like that picture. I think that's a good looking picture. No reason to really have it up there right now, except for that I thought it was a cool picture, and I just wanted to get it onto the video.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about this film, you know, and so we can talk about scenes that were cool and pictures that are cool and stuff. So,
yeah. And then, so what did you? Oh, and then here's the. Well, we'll go to the boat first. So, what did you think of this? It's the Silent Mary.
Oh yeah. See, I love the fact that they made the ship like the people that were on it, and they're not pirates, but whatever, Captain Salazar's crew, where it was like missing pieces that you didn't see because it was a ghost ship. You saw like parts of it, like you saw parts of them. And I thought they did a great job with that. Like the exterior is missing, the hull, it's just kind of like the frame of it inside that you're seeing sailing along. I thought that ship looked very cool too. And it was unique. It was its own thing. The Black Pearl, all these different ships have had a unique look to them. And it just shows, that they weren't, half-assing. They were being creative with what things were going to look like and making them different. And it just made the viewing experience that much more fun.
Well, and each ship has its own thing, but like, the one had cannons in the back. That was pretty cool. This one eats ships.
Yeah.
I mean, it came up, and then when the ship goes under it, it just goes down and basically just destroys it.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. And I really liked what they did with the crew of the ship, because we thought like they're ghosts. So this is kind of like what they look like, as you can see through them. Do you like the ghost people better than the Davy Jones people that were all the sharks and all 100%, that type of stuff?
100%, because there's a reason they look the way they do. Those shark people, I don't know why they look like sharks. These people, I would imagine, like this guy right here who's missing half of his face, he probably took a cannonball through his face, and that's what's left of him. That's what his dead corpse looked like. And so that's what the ghost looks like. So I like that. It's, there, just the idea that we didn't take them and add stuff to them. There's a plausibility of why they look the way they look that I like.
Okay. Yeah, so do I. I really liked how they looked. And it looked good. I mean, for a film that was done years ago, a lot of the effects in this look better than what they're doing today.
Yeah, and it really, going back to your point of why the de-aging looks so bad. If they can do this stuff, why does the de-aging look so bad?
If they just didn't have it so mannequin flat, just throw a wrinkle in there or a freckle or
it looks PlayStation 2. It doesn't look PlayStation 5.
Just give it a little bit of life, and it's weird. So in the last film, we were looking for the Fountain of Youth. They went, I guess, up through the water, and then they ended up in this kind of land where the Fountain of Youth is. In this one, to find the trident, which was also used in Aquaman. So he had a trident also in that. So these are production drawings for the film.
But a trident is something that it's mythical. It's not like trident is new.
Well, it's Poseidon
franchise. Yeah. So them going after it, whether it's a Marvel film or a Disney,
Oh no, I'm just saying they also did it, and it's not bad. I'm just saying, they also did it in Aquaman. Is that Aquaman's thing is a trident, so that's what he uses. That's
I'll take your word for that. I've never seen Aquaman. I back in the 80s cartoon, what was it? I don't remember what it's called. Remember the cartoon that had all of them? It had the Wonder
Super
Twins
Friends?
and was it Super Friends? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. That's about all the extent of my knowledge of Aquaman.
Okay, there you go. Well, so production drawing here, I really couldn't find a good picture of them in here. So the trident right there is in the middle, and there's I think that's probably Jack, and maybe the girl is somewhere in there. But what do you did you like this of them going into this area? Because you could see right in the middle there would be where the ocean is like cut in half.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. In the ground and the landscape around them and stuff looked pretty cool. So it was a fun thing, and it was different. Again, it wasn't, something that we've seen before. with this franchise. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it's like, you're going, well, shit, how long is this water going to stay like this? And they better get the hell out of there. And I don't know. Was it the best, like, third act of any of the films? I don't know. But I thought it was pretty cool. And seeing the, like, Salazar's guys in the water, you know, kind of stuck there looking, but they couldn't come because they were in the water until the trident was broken, and then they could all come out. And then I liked how, you know, some they were like drowning because they went back to being real people again.
Oh yeah, because it was the water was like a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as ghosts they could survive, but yeah, when they turn back to humans, they're like,
Yeah.
and they have to get out of that wall,
Yeah.
because the wall is this. That's what they're in.
Yeah.
So I kind of like this. It like you said, it's kind of like the drain that the ship was going down in one of the other films, and now this is on the side, and they got to make sure that the ship doesn't tip over into it. So they
Yeah.
have to constantly make sure that it's, you know, it's right there on the edge. So I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah. No, and even when they were, you know, when they dropped the anchor and they're pulling them up, you know, I thought it was funny how, you know, they're twisting it and twisting it, and then one of the arms that they're pushing breaks, so then it starts spinning backwards and stuff. It was, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, oh, we're just gonna spin them and pull them up. You know, there was still, how can we improve the adventure? How, you know, how can we, every little detail to make it, you know, adventurous and fun, and um, you know, keep them on the edge, you know, of getting caught or being killed or whatever. So it was funny. It was pretty interesting. It was unique. Again, you know, like, this might not have been my favorite way to wrap up the film, but it was still cool because it was unique. It was different. And it's, again, it's a fairy tale, it's a fantasy. So we can have the water part like that.
Well, now
This
with you
water
saying,
parting like that only happens in fairy tales, right?
and the Bible,
Oh, my fault.
that's right. Well, a fairy tale. So you're saying, you know, wrap up the if I was on the plane, 9/11 would have never happened. You're saying, you know, wrap up the movie. So overall, happy with Will and Elizabeth. It kind of comes full circle for them.
Yeah, the fact that the movie wasn't about them, we just got them reunited at the end, was great. Um, I just imagined sitting, if I watch this in a movie theater, the minute that Elizabeth comes and makes her appearance and she shows up, you would have heard everybody else in the theater going, oh, and start clapping. Oh my God, they brought her. It's like, no shit, they brought her back. They just saved Will. Of course, she's going to get her cameo here. It's like seeing Scream. I'm sitting there in the theater, and the minute Courtney Cox shows up, everybody loses their shit. It's like,
They did. When I saw it, they cheered when she got out of the car.
yeah. Which the scene was funny, and you're like, whoa, we can't kill Ghostface this early. But then Courtney Cox gets out, and it was funny, very unrealistic, but it was funny. And I just imagine this would have been one of those scenes where everybody would have went, oh, they brought her back. Yay. Like, of course they brought her back. So to me, little bit predictable. But I was okay with it. It's like, oh, you know, go make another kid and do it all. Oh, you know, do it all over again.
Okay, well there you go. Okay, so happy ending for them. I do like to show these, you know, a little bit of toys, because this is, I would buy this. It has the shark. So this is the ship that they're on, like that little boat, and then there is a shark. That's right there. He's a little hard to see, but
Well, the
it's
drawing of the shark behind him,
no. There's an
or an
actual.
actual shark toy.
You actually get a
Oh.
ghost shark toy.
Oh, well, that's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed, you know, so it's like, huh, I might pick that up. You know, I could see that if it wasn't too pricey, because I really do. I would have preferred for them to make an actual ghost shark with all the flesh and the bones and all that, but
Yeah.
this is more like that B movie Ghost Shark, where well, it goes into the swimming pool and stuff, because that's
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
shark is just invisible.
Again, with this franchise, this is not a franchise I would ever need a toy or a collectible from. If I was in Zia and they had a clearance like sale for $5, Captain Jack Sparrow, I'd probably buy it. I might even spend like $8, $9, or $10 on a Captain Jack.
Would you buy a Funko Pop of one of them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I saw Captain Jack Sparrow, I probably would. Only the middle one of Jack. The others, I wouldn't need them. Although Captain Salazar does look pretty cool.
Yeah, they have both.
The dead one, not the alive one. I wouldn't need the alive one.
Yeah, that's the one you need. And then this is Will Turner, and he does have the barnacles on him. So that's kind of cool that they gave him the barnacles. It's the ghost of Will Turner.
Yeah. Again, I would only get Jack Sparrow because it's Johnny Depp. And the other characters, the franchise is good. It's cool. I collect horror things. I do enjoy other stuff, but I don't need to collect it. So it's like, what am I going to do with this stuff? I'm just going to have a house full of stuff that I have so much of it that I can't have it displayed and enjoy it.
Like me.
That's where I'm bingo. Like your 3 layers deep Funko Pops in your hallway and stuff that, they're just kind of buried there because you have no room.
But you can see the tops of them, so you know what they are.
Oh, okay.
So, but now if you're going to be getting a Johnny Depp one here, or any of the other ones, maybe you got to make sure that they're not fake.
Oh, they got fakes out there, huh?
So these are fake Pirates of the Caribbean Funko Pops. So you got to make sure about that.
I wonder if they ever had a Barbossa. If they were going to have Salazar, they got to have Barbossa. They probably made a Barbossa at some point.
I would think so. Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So, well, I think that kind of takes us to the end here. We do have a couple other things to go over, but what are your ending thoughts here before we move on to a tier list and a couple other things?
I thought that I enjoyed the movie. And that makes 5 movies, every movie in one franchise that I've enjoyed.
There isn't a bad one, I don't think.
No. And that's a good thing, especially with the length of these movies, because man, there was a couple of these that I'm like, oh, will this ever end? And I didn't want it to end because I was mad at it, but I was just like, we got too much. And I don't know if there was any one scene in this where I'm like, oh my God, move on, like I did in a couple other movies. But I thought the idea, okay, we have to break the trident to break the spell, was cool. Would have been cool if it was like a little harder to break it. They broke it pretty easy.
Well, it has been down there for a long time, so it might be brittle.
Yeah, but it's it is the tool of a god.
Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of Thor's hammer. It shouldn't break because it's at the bottom of the ocean.
True.
But I like the idea. It was, you know what? In the last one, we went after the Fountain of Youth. This one, we went after this. So we've gone after things, to resolve the story, the conundrum, to get what we needed to get, and for it to be a different, unique one. I liked it. So, had no problems with it. No problems with that being the main storyline either.
Okay. And then we've been talking about how much these movies have made. So this one was basically 800. It was like 794 million 80 881. I don't really, I'm always get problems with these numbers. So it basically was like 80 million. I'm going to say that.
Oh, the budget was 80 million?
No, what it made. Oh, its budget
80
was
or 800?
I was like 800 million. I always get messed
So
up.
made
with these.
800 million.
Yeah. Me being dyslexic does not work with numbers. But its budget was 230 to 320 million. So if we're looking at,
yeah, so I mean, it wasn't a bomb, but I'm sure the goal was to get it to $1 billion. That was probably their line.
well, each movie made more money than the first one. So you have basically,
aside from this one, right? If this only made 800, didn't the first one make over 900?
No, the first one made 654.
Oh.
So if we were to go in order of what they made, so it would be Dead Man's Chest made the most, that was over $1 billion. Then On Stranger Tides made over $1 billion. Then At World's End, that was 960. Then Dead Men Tell No Tales at 794. And then Curse of the Black Pearl at 654.
Yeah. So I guess Disney probably said, look, we see the trend. The numbers are coming down. Let's get out while the getting's good. You know, why make another one? If this one was, if the budget, let's go on the high end, say the budget was over 300 million, double that. So 600 million is to break even. And then above that, you know, you're looking to make a profit. You're not looking to just break even. So you want to make at least 900 million. And if we're not even getting to 8, you can kind of understand why Disney's going, all right, maybe we're shelving this franchise.
I mean, but it did make more than At World's End. I'm sorry. No, it didn't. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not. It just, it made more than the original movie, which yeah. I think says something. It didn't make a less.
What was the budget on the original one? Do you have it there?
Yeah, 140 million.
And that one made 650?
Yeah.
So 140 times 2 is 300.
Each film, the budget goes up except for the last one. So 140, Dead Man's Chest is 225. At World's End, 3. On Stranger Tales is 378. And then it goes down a little bit with Dead Men Tell No Tales of, you know, the 230 to 320.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. This one, it seemed like maybe it had a little bit smaller budget.
Probably more green screen, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
But I still had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah, so did I. So let's then go to our tier list. We're going to be getting more and more into tier lists here. Because I'm
sorry, I am extremely addicted to jelly beans, and I am trying everything I can not to eat this. But I lost the battle. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Probably just let me eat a sandwich.
A sandwich is fucking rude and disgusting.
You're rude and disgusting.
You just be glad I have not even dipped into the Peeps.
Jelly beans and Peeps are acceptable. So if I do that over on your channel, then you have to be okay with it. Whatever you do, I'm able to do.
A holiday treat, and it's because it's that time of year.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So here is our tier list. And for people who don't know, S, the very top one, is like stupendous, super. It's the best one. Then it works like a report card. A, B, C, D, F. This shouldn't take long because we only have the 5 movies plus the short film.
Yeah.
So where would you put Curse of the Black Pearl? Where would that go?
That's the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an A.
It's an A, not an S. It's an A. I know you seem to like the first ones more.
No, I do. Yeah. my thought is with these, I'm not going to give any one of these an S.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. And then the Dead Man's Chest, second one.
Okay, so that was the one where Will was captured and they had to go get Will back.
Yeah, he was with the cannibals, and that's the one where I complained that it was a little too long and that they did round things twice, like wheels, type of wheels twice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That one was long.
I would almost go here.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what I
B?
think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm referencing my, because it's been what, a couple months since we've started this.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of referencing my IMDb scores. But yeah, I think a B is fair for that one.
Now, this one we might argue a little bit on or debate. At World's End. That's the third one. I think it's B or A. I really like this one. This one still might be my favorite.
Oh, that's the one that has the like where they go to Asia and stuff.
Yeah, it's got Chow Yun
Yeah,
Fat, and
I like that.
what do you think?
I'm probably giving that an A as well.
Okay. Now, we did watch the short film that takes place after that, and it was a fun little film. What, 10 minutes, maybe less? Where
Yeah,
would you throw that?
I think for what it is, it to me it gets a B, and the only reason it only gets a B is because we don't have Johnny Depp.
Okay, there we
But
go. I would agree.
Okay.
And then we have On Stranger Tides, which has Penelope Cruz in it.
Yeah, that one.
I'm almost going up there. Here or
Yeah.
there, but I'm thinking
Yeah.
more A. It had some very funny stuff in it, and she was just hot to
Yeah.
look at too.
Yeah. I would agree. I'd give it an A. Yeah.
Okay. And then our last one would be the film that we just saw, Dead Men Tell No
Yeah.
Tales.
I think it's a B.
I would go along with that. Okay. All right. So fair enough. There we go. That's all of them. So the first one is an A. The third one is an A. The fourth one is an A. The third one is a B. The short is a B. And then the fifth one, the last one, is a B.
Yeah. Which all in all, because you have 3 features that are A's and then you have 2 features that are a B, and then the short that's a B. I mean, all in all, as a franchise, it's like an A- franchise or a B+ franchise. So all in all, it is a very, very good franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could even throw, I could probably put almost all of them at A, but
Yeah,
there are,
and
because I could watch any of them. But
yeah, I think to me, the problem with the rewatchability of these is the length.
yeah, some of them are long. They're like 2.5
They're
hours.
just, yeah. See, so the first Curse of the Black Pearl, I rated that 4.5 stars. So that would have been the first one, would have been the closest one I would have gotten to giving an S, but I think I have to rate it 5 to give it an S. Then Dead Man's Chest, I gave a 3.5. At World's End, I gave a 3.5. Tales of the Code Wedlocked, I gave a 4, which technically is like an A, but for this rating here, I just it's missing Johnny Depp. It can't be an A. And Dead Men Tell No Tales, I gave a 3.5. So basically, all the films aside from the first one, I basically gave like a 3.5 star. Which is, is a very good score. It's a 7 out of 10. It's very solid score. Partially, fantasy stuff is not my favorite franchise. I like pirates. And and I like these movies. I would have rather these movies were a little more, I would rather they were rated R, but they're Disney, so it would have never happened. For what we got, I thought they're pretty darn good. And the fact, maybe not certain very young kids, but like little boys, that if you educate them on what a pirate is and how it's all adventure and stuff, you could have kids watch this. I mean, yeah, there's sword fights and stabbing and people dying, but it's not bloody and too graphic. So,
Right.
Franchise for the whole family. And I think for the ride at Disneyland, I think there, in all the films, there are little things that kind of, pay homage to the ride. And that's, I like that because that's always been my favorite ride at Disneyland. But I think they did a good job. If you're going to take, my favorite Disneyland ride, and you're going to make it into a movie franchise, I think they did a pretty good job with it. I'm happy. The one thing I would have liked more, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't use it as the theme, was the Pirates Life song. They had the Pirates of the Caribbean theme for these movies, and we quoted or referenced the yo ho pirates. We quoted that song or referenced it in almost all the movies, but where was the song? I wanted the fucking song. And that's, if there's one glaring thing that's missing from this franchise, is that we did not get that song. So
Maybe
when they're
it's a
in
copyright issue, who knows?
the bars, it's fucking Disney.
Even though it's Disney,
buy
maybe
any,
who wrote it. Maybe they.
But if they couldn't get that person to agree to let them use it, then they go buy the company that distributes that song. This is Disney we're talking about. There should be no excuses. But I would have liked that. And, like I said, in my world, I would have liked it to be rated R, but beggars can't be choosers. So.
Right. And how did you end up watching it? Because we haven't talked about that. I got the Blu-ray here.
I watched it on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't own it.
Yeah, this is the Blu-ray DVD. So
yeah. And so with the first 4 films, the only reason I own those is because my parents had purchased them. And when my mom passed away, my dad was kind of purging all of his physical media. And I went and took it. And there was some that he kept. And then after he passed away, I got the rest of it. But this one coming out in 2017, and then by the time it hit physical media, my mom was already, she'd had a stroke and she was sick. And my mom passed away in 2018, in early 2018. So I'm sure my mom would have bought the 5th one, if she didn't get sick. But that's the only reason I own them. And I can say, I think honestly, after watching them, I enjoy them, but I'm not in a hurry to go out and buy the 5th one. I don't need to complete that collection. I would not, after watching it, knowing they're on Disney Plus, I don't need to go buy it. Again, if this was a horror franchise, even one that I like The Purge, a shitty horror franchise that I can tolerate.
How dare you? How dare you?
I would own that, and which I do. I own the Purge franchise.
You know what you do to me? There you go. That is what you do to me, so now I can do it to you. All righty. All right. Well, here we go.
Tier list. What's your favorite color jelly bean?
I don't know. They all taste the same, so I don't know.
No. Okay, so you have a mission, and that's to get yourself a bag of Brock's before Sunday. They have to be the Brock's jelly beans.
I'm
BRK.
I'll see. I'm going to Smith's tomorrow, so I'll see what they have in their little Easter.
They should have them. These are everywhere, but these ones, Brock's jelly beans, and we will do a tier list of the greatest jelly beans ever. And I will tell you, in this bag, purple and green are not my favorite. They're probably at the bottom of the spectrum. This does not have black jelly beans.
Okay,
but
those would be my
we
least
should do a
favorite.
tier
Yeah, I'm not a fan of black licorice.
I used to love black jelly beans. I loved them so much that my aunt bought me 2 bags, the big ones that are like 2 pounds each or whatever, of nothing but black jelly beans. And I ate so many, I got sick of them. I can't touch them now. But, I like black licorice and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so you were pulling up this poster to say what?
We're done.
Oh, say bye.
This is it. We started with the poster. We end it with the poster.
Apparently, dead men do tell tales.
Yeah, because he left one person alive to tell the tales.
I thought it was interesting that Salazar sits there. It's Salazar, right? That was his name?
Yeah.
He sits there and tells, was it Barbosa? The story that he had to go relay. And then I think, doesn't Barbosa say, well, why don't you tell him? And he goes, well, I can't because dead men tell no tales. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I love that he quoted the line. But at the same time, he just told the tale.
Yeah.
You did. So you apparently can tell tales, but I liked hearing the line quoted.
You just point at the screen. Oh, he said it.
Yeah.
He said it. He said the thing.
Yeah.
He said the line.
Yeah. And then I went out and had to get a 24-year-old girlfriend because that's my age limit right there.
Oh, thank you, Leo.
Up. But it was fun. I'm glad we did this, and
meow.
I'm ready to move on to another franchise.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, maybe take a brief break, and then we can figure out what to do next. So,
yeah.
I think you had mentioned James Bond, which is take us a whole year to probably do.
there was probably longer than a year. There was 5 of these, and it did take us maybe like 3 months to get through this. So if there's like close to 30 James Bonds. Yeah. We'll see though. We will see. We'll figure out something because this was a lot of fun, kind of working our way together through a franchise. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So okay.
And not being in a hurry to talk about all of them at once, waiting to talk about them, after we saw them and, had clear thoughts on each specific film. Because if you go ask me the difference between part 2 or 3 right now without diving into it or looking at the poster, I'm like, da, 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 da. So, yeah.
So, okay. All righty. All right. Well, everybody, if you made it to the end, thank you. Comment down at the bottom what your favorite pirate movies are or least favorite pirate movies, and let us know if you've watched them all and enjoyed this. And then we'll think about what to do next, and then come back and do that. So
give us suggestions of what we should watch next.
There you go.
It doesn't mean we're going to, but we will take them into consideration.
Like if somebody says the Fast and Furious movies, you're probably going to say no.
Not a chance.
Oh, not a chance. So you will say yes.
Not a chance will I watch those. You go ahead and watch those with Jonathan if you want, or
no, they're not horror movies. He won't do that. That'd have to be Donald for film discussion.
Okay. Yeah.
So
no, good.
But we're already doing Leprechaun, so that will be this.
And good luck with that, sir.
I've already seen them all, so nothing new there.
Yeah,
they start off bad, and they just get worse. So there you go. All righty, that's it. We're done. See everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video, whatever that will be. Here we go. Here we go.